big change from what we did last week. The real change that you're going to see in this versus what we did last week, Thursday specifically, is there's no picture for you. Last week when we came across problems like this, there was a picture involved already. The only difference is it means you kind of need to draw yourself a picture. But here's the thing, these are not complicated pictures to draw. It's not anything fancy. The thing you are being told is that the point S is between R and T on this first problem. So, think about what we did last week in between this. The key thing on being between is you're going to see something that looks like this, not something that looks like that. Essentially, you're going to see 3 points all on one line or on one segment. And we're going to draw it as segments. So, I'm going to draw myself a segment. 2 points are the end points, and then I'm going to draw 1 point somewhere in between. I don't necessarily want it directly in the middle, because I don't want to mix it up and think it is perfectly in the middle. And then you label your 3 points. If S is between R and T, which letter has to be the one in the middle? S. When it comes to R and T, we're just using them for location-wise, and location-wise, they're on the ends. It doesn't matter which one you call R for the end, which one you call T, as long as you label one of them for each of them. So, there's my segment that I'm going to work with. I want to solve for both x and rs. Now I know rs is equal to 2x plus 1. Here's r, here's s. That means the part between it is the 2x plus 1. st is 14. There's s, there's t. The part between it, 14. rt is 81. R and T are the far ends, which means from this far end until this far end. It's hard to draw it directly on the picture, so when it's across all the way and there's points in between, we tend to just kind of draw this thing here and say that's 81. Now last week we learned what was known as the segment addition postulate. It said part of a segment plus the other part of a segment right next to it will make the full segment. Which two am I adding together?
14 and 2x plus 1?
The 2x plus 1 and the 14, yes. Because technically, the segment addition postulate says this piece, which is rs, plus this piece, which is st, is equal to the full thing rt. Do you have to write that out like that? No. Will there be a point where you need to in chapter 2? Yeah, that's why I do it. But otherwise, you can jump directly to 2x plus 1 plus the 14 is equal to the big one, 81. I'm going to solve this. What do I have to start with?
Common factors.
Combine your like terms to figure out what x is. On this side of the equal sign, I see there's a 1 and a 14. If they're on the same side of the equal sign, do I do opposites, like subtracting 1 from both?
No.
Or, no. You just straight up do what they say, which is to take a positive 1 and add 14. 50. It's one of the most common mistakes I'm still seeing with algebra is people doing minus 1 when they're on the same side of the equal sign. Be careful. Okay, now I see a 15 and an 81. They're on opposite sides of the equal sign. Do I now do opposites? Yes. Subtract 15 from both sides. 2x is equal to 66, I heard. Divide by 2, x is 33. Is that what the question asked me to solve for?
That and rs.
That and rs. So that's part of it. I still need to find rs, which means I need to plug back in. I need to substitute back.
You need to plug it 33 into x, so it's 2 times 33 plus 1.
Make sure you're plugging it into the correct place. Now in this one, there's only one place.
67.
Yep. But make sure you're double checking where you're plugging it back into. In this case, there's only one option. 2 times 33 plus 1. When you're plugging it back in, you're doing PEMDAS. Multiply before you add. 66 plus 1, which, as Landon already said, is 67. Some of the biggest mistakes that I see on problems like this. Basic algebra things. Not combining like terms when you're supposed to. Stuff like that. But also, people adding the wrong pieces or plugging back into the wrong place. People automatically tend to assume that these are given in the order that you add and then equals. That is not always the case. There is a reason I tell you this between part. So make sure you're keeping an eye on that. If Q is between P and R, the moment I see that, again, I'm going to draw a picture of a segment with a dot. Q is between, which point does it go on?
Middle.
The one that's between, that's in the middle, not the perfect middle, but the middle-ish one. Doesn't matter which one's P and which one's R.
Left is P.
Technically, it doesn't matter.
It don't matter. What I said.
You did, so I'm going to do that. But technically, doesn't matter.
It says P and R, so it's P then R.
Doesn't have to go in that order, though.
But it can.
It
It
can.
makes more sense.
For most people, they do it that way, yes. Okay. If this is the setup, without even marking any of this stuff on there, if I wanted to do it in letters, which two would be added together? PQ, QR, PR are the three segments. My question confused people, didn't it?
What happened?
Hold on.
I was doing.
I essentially was asking.
Start moving forward, and then I heard which ones
Yeah.
we add together: PQ, PR,
Yeah.
QR, and then.
Yeah, I
together, and I'm
confused
like, wait,
people.
what?
Okay, essentially I'm asking, what is the lettery version, like this, of the equation for this picture? PQ plus QR is equal to PR. Part plus part is the whole thing across. Okay. You don't have to label the picture if you can come up with this. You should probably put the picture with the P, Q, and the R, but if you can come up with this, you don't have to put the numbers on the picture unless you want to. If that helps you, do it. If it doesn't help you, don't do it. First thing I'm told is QP. Wait a second. QP isn't in here. Does that cause a problem?
Yeah.
Literally still the
That
same.
means we have to swap the R and the P.
We don't have to swap them around. QP and PQ are the same thing.
Oh, wait a minute.
That is 2x. RQ. Yeah, on here we look at it as Q then R, but it could have been R then Q as long as the two endpoints are the same. This is still my x plus 2, and the full thing all the way across, which is PR, is the 5x minus 10. The order of the two letters in a segment doesn't matter. In a line, doesn't matter. In an array, does matter. When we have only one endpoint, then the order matters. But when they're both endpoints or they're both arrows, doesn't matter. PQ is the same as QP. QR is the same as RQ. PR is, well, what we got up there. But it is the same thing as RP. I'm gonna go and call on people at random because I'm hearing a lot from the same people. Okay,
I'm sleeping.
if I want to solve this, Jerry, Where should I start? Exactly. 3x plus 2 equals 5x minus 10. And Landon,
What?
he knows these things.
Are you sure about that?
I am sure. Give him a chance. Okay, so I'm now to 3x plus 2 equals 5x minus 10. Eli, if I want to solve this, where am I going to go next? You got this. One option is to add 10 to both sides. It's not the traditional option, but it does work.
I think you're saying it's not the traditional option, because I was over here like, excuse me.
Yeah, it's not what math teachers typically say you should do next, but it does work just as well. 3x plus 12 is equal to 5x. Lincoln, what should I do next if I'm trying to solve?
Get rid of the 12.
Can't do that just
How are you supposed to do that?
Get your x's together. Which one should I move?
3.
Yeah, subtract the 3x. Now this is traditionally what would have been done at this step, is subtract the x's, get down to 1x, and then start moving the numbers. The reason they do this traditionally this way is because sometimes doing it the other way confuses people.
X equals 6.
Divide by 2 and x is equal to 6. Trevor, is that what it asked me to solve for?
No.
At least not completely, right? It said solve for x and QP. Okay. Can we stop with the side conversations? I know it might be about math, but for some
QP
people,
equals 12.
they can't focus on it. Okay. Alicia,
QP's 12.
what did you plug back into?
You just times 6 by 2. Basically, you undo what you just did, so you don't divide 12 by 2.
Okay. Why did you know to do that?
Because that's what it says up on the board.
Well, actually, I can't say that.
Because you plugged into this.
Yeah.
That's definitely what I did.
That's totally what I did too.
QP is equal to 12. So you are right that that is equal to 12, but you gotta be careful because some people plug it into the wrong things. You gotta focus on what equation you're plugging back into. Okay. We got 2 more examples. B is between A and C, solve for X. This one's just solve for X. I know I have to make this picture that's got 3 points on the segment. 2 of them are the endpoints, 1 in between. Max.
Oh no.
What letters should I put where?
B in the middle.
B in the middle?
A and C on either side.
A and C on either side. Doesn't matter which one. You got it.
Welcome to class.
Now you can write out the lettering equation if you want. You don't have to. You can label the picture with the numbers and the letters if you want. You don't have to. I generally do both. Can't call on someone who's not here. I can't call on someone who's not here and expect an answer from them.
Well, you could. You just call them, explain the problem you got, and then ask.
You're right. I'm definitely going to call people on the phone to go through math.
I mean,
Anyway.
I wouldn't have a problem
Hey,
if
y'all.
you did that to me.
Hey y'all, let's get focused back in on what we're actually going to do.
Teacher while I was sleeping at midday.
Lily, AB is equal to x minus 11. Which part is that? The left part, the right part, or the full thing across? It's between the A and the B. The left part. BC is x minus 1. Kai, is that the part on the right or is that the full thing across? It's part on the right. AC must then be the full thing, right? So, I want to write my equation in order to solve. Kelby, what's the equation gonna look like?
X minus 11, and then, X minus 11 plus X minus 1 plus 12.
You got it.
I got the answer already.
Good for you. We're still going through it together. Naomi, if I want to solve this equation, what should I do first? Combine the x's, and what will I get? 2x. And I'm going to combine these at the same time. Be careful with your combining. It is a negative 11 minus a 1, which is a negative 12.
It's pretty much just a plus 1 and 11, and then just add a negative in front of it.
It is, but that messes with people sometimes.
It messes with me.
Depends on the person.
Being
Okay.
so serious.
Shh. Kane, I want to solve this. What do I do now?
You add 12.
Shh. You're not Kane.
Oh.
Oh wait, who?
Kane.
Who's that?
Kane is Kane, shockingly enough. 2x is equal to 24.
I thought you said King.
Mohammed, if I want to finish solving, what do I do last? How do I finish solving for x? Divide by 2. X equals 12. Is that what it asked me to solve for this time?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. This one did not ask me to plug it back in. Okay, last problem is similar but slightly different. Last problem says M is between N and L. I got my 3 dots. M is between, it goes on this one. N and L. And then it says this.
That says it's equal to, but I forgot what the jiggy jaggy meant.
We got the equal with a little squiggle above it.
Jiggy jaggy.
Starts with the C, means they are congruent, meaning they're the same. MN is congruent to ML. Remember last week we had these little tick marks on there indicating they're the same? Now in this one, MN is equal to 2x plus 3. And NL, that's the full thing, is 40. Now according to what we've been doing, we do the left part plus the right part adds together to get me the full thing. The left part is 2x plus 3. Plus, well, what's the right part?
2x plus 3.
These are congruent, meaning they are the same. It's also a 2x plus 3. Adds up to the full thing. What was that?
What are we solving for?
Oh, it doesn't say what to solve for. My bad. Solve for x.
Oh, I got it.
Okay. Ella, if I want to solve for x, what am I going to do first?
Combine my terms.
What's it going to look like?
4x add 6 equals 40.
4x plus 6 equals 40. Beautiful. Connor, if I want to solve this equation, what do I do next? Subtract the 6 from both sides. 4x is equal to 34. Nick, if I want to solve, what do I do last? Divide by 4. What is 34 divided by 4?
8.5.
8.5. Does the decimal mean we're wrong?
No.
No. Okay. That's today. Nothing too terrible?
Perfect.
I got a worksheet for y'all again today.
Okay.
I'm sorry, you wanted a book assignment?
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
You're crazy.
1.2, day 2. Today is the 9th. Our homework's due on Wednesday. Wednesday is the 11th.
Hold on, wait a minute. We're talking about dating now?
I typically write down due dates and all that wonderfulness.